on they wanted to talk to, any questions that they had. Okay, we're good. Everybody good? All right. Okay. We will. We have a deal. One second. I need to. If he does have any questions, full house. You might hear some nieces, children. Uh, Slightly hear them. They're downstairs. I'm upstairs in an office. So if you do hear anything, it's tough to hear. Let me know. But I think we're going to be okay. So here we go. So I'm only working with one screen right now. Let me just try to move this in one spot because I'm not at home. Okay. I'm coming out. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing? Hey, it's been cutting out. Really? You go soft sometimes. Yeah. Can you guys hear me better? Yeah, loud. Is it loud enough? Is it too loud? Okay, good. Okay, all right. Let's share my screen. Much better. Good. Excellent. That's good. Okay, so we're looking at a deal with that Frank's working on. Frank, is there anything you want to share about the deal? If what? Sorry. Is there anything you want to share about the deal itself? Anything you want to say about it? Well, I'm looking for a JV partner. Okay. All right, so let's walk through the deal, and if anybody's interested, we'll wait till the end, okay? We'll wait till the end to do any transfer of any information, okay, everybody? So I got the limited 10% off and 10% hard money lender. That's what we're looking at first. So asking price is 675 discount. You're looking at a 10% discount. So that's a drop of 67.5. Purchase price is 607. Cutting out again? A bit? That's weird. I don't know why it would be cutting out. Other than it shouldn't. Good. That's odd. On and off. On and off. Let me see. Let me check something. Hold on one second. Let me see. Let me try something. Give me 1 second. Okay. See if I can. That might help. Okay. Let's try that. Is that better? Anybody? Is that better? Is it cutting out still or better now? Seems better. Okay. Yeah. Sound is good now. Okay. I think it was something with the volume. And we'll do what we need to do to make it work. Okay, so share screen. Let's try this again. Let's do that. Let's put this in the corner. Okay, so here we go. 675, 75.5 is the jump. That brings 607,500. Is 433.7. So 723 per unit, correct? 6 units. Okay, good. Okay, gross revenue 52,000 year. Then we have our vacancy maintenance and property management. We have it at 37.8%. That's coming from here. Looks like you put the expenses all together. Is that what you did? Is that the expenses are all together? Because I'm seeing here. Give me 1 second. Let me try something. Let's. Expenses, you got 2, 10, and 10. So you got maintenance at 10 and management at 10, and you got vacancy at 2. So the vacancy at 2, why did you use 2 there, Frank? I did not take into account the one-time costs to qualify for the property, just the reoccurring ones. Okay, what's the vacancy? Why is the vacancy 2%? Why isn't it 5? Maintenance we have at 10. Is it an older building? Yep. Okay. All right. And the vacancy, I wouldn't 5 to tell you the truth. I think 5 is the way to go there, Frank. Just plus this is a long-term. There's long-term tenants in it. Yeah, that's great. And you know what, Frank? If you have no vacancies, you just put the money aside, right? But you account for it. You know, it's just to be safe. I would account for it. Is the maintenance of the property has it been kept up? Is there any repairs or anything that need to be done? $10 ongoing is you know that it's going to cost you more to maintain it. I understand. Few repairs. Stairs are at the entrance to be fixed. Balcony to be repaired, but it's all part of the deal. Part of the deal in the sense that that's where the discount's coming from. Is that right? Is that why the discount is that's why you believe you can get that discount because of those repairs? No, the 675 includes those repairs confirmed by the owner. So all the repairs are going to be done before you buy the property. Is that right, Frank? So if all the repairs are going to be done, for me, please, so I understand, all the repairs are going to be done, and discount, is that right? Those are really minor cosmetic, though I checked. Okay. But you're saying it's included in the 675. So do you believe you're still going to be able to get? So he's going to fix all those issues, right? You're saying that he's going to fix all those problems, which is good. And he's property at that price, right? The price at 607. You feel confident, and you're going to get it at 607. Yes. So that's correct, right? I'm making that assumption. All right. Okay. No, the discount is coming from the fact that the property income is too low due to the way too long-term tenants. So the price is too high. Okay. The property, just so we're clear, the property is going to be fixed. Okay. Yes. There's going to be no issues or no repairs. Yes. So it's going to be fixed. The property is to be fixed for 675. Yes. Okay, Frank, I understand what you're saying to me, but I'm not clear. Okay, so 675 is the list price, but the repairs haven't been done. Is that right? On top of what I want to negotiate, that 10% have not been done yet. So you're gonna say to the seller, you know, I'll take it as is for 607. Is that right? Is that the idea? No. I understand, Frank. The seller wants 675. Okay? And you're saying, the seller's saying all those repairs will be done at 675. I understand that. Okay. So you're going to come to him and offer 607, 500 with all those repairs done. You still want him to complete all those repairs, right? Okay. Okay, that's good. So if we go back to the expenses, this landlord cost, is that management fee? What's landlord cost? One-time fees to buy the property, like landlord transfer. Okay, that cost into the ongoing cash flow. So we're going to take it out, okay? And legal should be legal as an expense, ongoing legal expense. If you want to leave the 300 legal, that's fine. But the real expenses here are these here. There's no additional expenses. I went with 2% of the purchase price. That's fine. I understand that. Those are one-time costs for now, okay? Because we're trying to understand the income of the property. Okay, what the property costs ongoing. That's what we're trying to figure out. So taxes are ongoing, insurance is ongoing, water heater is ongoing, lawn ongoing. Other, what's the other? 600. Actually, you put those, but did not specify. Okay, we'll leave it. We'll ask the seller what that is, okay? All right, let's go back over here. Now we have our vacancy property management at 20, normal. Expenses are another almost 20. These are the expenses that you listed. Snow removal. No. We'll assume the expense is ongoing, okay? Month, year over year, okay? So that leaves 3,049, okay? Gross rent multipliers 1167. All units are fully autonomous. Okay. You mean for the meters and things? Is that what you mean? I assume, right? Okay, good. All right. So our cap rates on the low end 5.3. Okay. Give me 1 second. 5.3 is the cap rate. 16 CA. I gotta double check that. Okay, good. All right. So here we have a bank financing 80%. Now, have you talked to your mortgage broker? It's a 6-unit building. Can you get bank financing 80% with a 6-unit building? Have you talked to someone about that, Frank? Bank waiting for their feedback. These folks, when you're at 6 units, it might become a commercial loan for lending institutions. So they typically are not going to give you 80% unless you have an arrangement with the bank or the institution. There are ones that will do it. Brokers that you should talk to that might be able to get you that 80%. So, you know, if your bank's telling you they can get you 80%, that's great. We'll look at it both ways. So let's just assume it's 80. They 70%. All right. Sorry, it's cutting out a lot, Sam. Has anybody else seen that? Why did you say the bank can't do 80%? The bank can't. It's not that they can't, but the bank typically is going to, on an 80% loan. A commercial loan, which is a 6-unit building. Okay, 6-unit building. Typically, you're going to get a commercial loan. Okay, it's going to be a commercial property, even if it's residential. You know, units. They're still going to want commercial as a loan. So, you know, they might be in the 65, 60, 65, or 70 range. Okay, so let's use 80 and look at it, and then we'll try 70. Okay, and then we'll even try 65. So, if we get an 80% loan at 3%, let's assume they're going to give you that for now. And we have seller financing, which I assume is the investor, right? Frank, that's your investor? Okay. And the investor is going to get paid nothing, or they're just going to split the deal, or did you have 5% and 99? I assume you're trying to make just a straight loan. Is that right? Just interest. I see. Okay. All right. We'll leave it like that. It's relatively the same thing. The interest side is here. You could do it over here, actually. You can just put the interest in here. It's interest only, which you did. Okay. And 99 years is the same thing. We'll see that. Okay. So, and 10% you're going to put up. Is that right, Frank? Okay. Let's go down here. And you can see that this is an interest-only loan. This is an 99-year mortgage. It's basically the same thing. All right, this one's actually a dollar less than 99 years. Okay, so the numbers we can still use this side is fine. We can still use the same numbers. So we come back here, and the cash flow is 1420. The monthly cash flow per unit is 19. I don't know why that's happening. Wow, that is. I don't know what to do to fix the sound. I'm talking right into it. Maybe the connection is off today. Maybe. Could it be the interference with other devices around the microphone? No, I mean I'm in an office. There's nothing that should be interrupting it. Yeah. Already checked the microphone settings. It's just the one. If gain is too high, it will cut off. Volume. Here, we could try one more thing. Here, let's try this. So the volume's okay, correct, everybody? The volume's okay? Yep. Okay. Okay. Let me test this out. Is that better? I know the volume came down a little bit, but that might be the problem, is the volume was peaked up. Is that better? Keep talking. Okay, sounds better now? All right. Okay. All right, let's try it again. Okay, here we go. Share my screen. All right. Okay. All right. So, everybody, we're good? Volume's good? Good. Excuse me. Smoother. That's good. Excuse me. Okay. So, when we look at this property, we see that the cost per unit is 1973, which is still cutting out, eh? Wow. I don't know what's causing this. Huh. What could be causing this? This is driving me crazy. Still cutting out. Okay. Let's try something else. Okay, give me 1 second. This is crazy. Let me try something else. Let me try. But every time you stop to investigate, it seems to get better. All right. Well, let's see. Open sound settings, maybe. Let's see. Your app. Second, so I might go silent. I'm just trying to get something here. Let's see. Sound. Little Sonic. Let me try. So 100. Is that any better? Did that do something? Is your mic on a cord or wireless? It's use plug-in, no Wi-Fi. Everybody's a troubleshooter now. That's awesome. Hold on. Windows for Sonic. Oh, I don't know what that means. Does that sound any better? I don't know I don't know what would cut it out. It's driving me crazy. And does that? Are you using a PC? That is where the issue is. Yeah, I am using a PC, actually. So let's try this. All right, is it any better now? Is it smooth sailing? Is there any coming out? Anybody? It sounds good, really? Because I just reset the sound. Somebody tell me that it sounds great. It's good now? No one wants to take a chance. Okay, let's go for it, folks. Let's go for it. Okay, let's share my screen. All right, let's go like this. Back. All right. It just cuts out like crazy. Ah, it's still cutting out? No, it is? Is it really cutting out? Now good? My Sid is better. Okay, let's go for it. We're gonna go for it, folks. If you cannot fix it, let's just soldier through it. Sounds good to me. Okay, let's do it. All right. If you have a question or you don't hear something, I'll just repeat it. Okay, does that sound good? Deal? All right, here we go. Let's do it. All right, so we have now a cash on cash return 2.3. We have a monthly cash flow of 1973. Okay, that's going to be a problem. And the problem for us is going to be is that either we have to reduce the expenses, we have to reduce the price, or change the financing options. So right now with the 5.3 cap rate, not going to leave a lot of room for us, right? And I want to say something to everybody that I think is important to keep in mind. If you ever come across a deal and you think there's an opportunity, get it under contract, and then we can sort it out. If you really think that you need to get something, get it under contract. It is unlikely the owner will reduce more than 60K. I agree with you, Frank. I agree with you. The rents, the rents are the gap between cost and rents 723. You said, Frank, you believe you can get the rents higher. Is that right? How much higher, Frank? Because right now this thing is in its current state. It's going to be tough to make it work. This one. The one thing we could do, Frank, is let's see this. You do this 20%. Do you know how long till the leases are up for renewal? That's a good question, because that's when we can actually raise it. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Yeah, this is going to be tough, Frank. There's not enough income versus expenses are not crazy either, to tell you the truth. I mean, you're 40% expenses. Not that's not good. Others even 20 years. What? Like from 620 to 900 easy, but they have to leave and that is uncertain. Most of them have been there for the past 13 years. Wow. Others at 20. That's why they've stayed cheap rent. That's right. Staying that long reduces the potential of income. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. The rent has been moving. Yeah, this guy is jammed up with this property, and Frank, to take this problem on, he's going to have to reduce his price, or we can't do this because the income doesn't justify it. And you mentioned that earlier. Good. See. Uh, that's still a problem. Need like 25%. Is he motivated? Perhaps he would finance. Finances, it would be a problem. I asked, he needs the money for construction project. Is he completely unreasonable to increase the rent since you are now? You can't just increase the rent if you change ownership. You can't go below higher than the province will let you year over year. Who knows if he even did that? Those rents, uh, those rents are, I mean, like what would the rent be if it was today? The market was today. How much could you raise it if it was just today? How much could you raise the rent? If the rent was today, if you were renting these units out today, how much money could you get per unit? 1,900. In Ontario, it's 1.8. Yeah, that's, you're talking about the rent increase. I'm just talking about what would I have to wait for the tenants to leave. Yeah, you can't just kick tenants out. But I'm asking if you could rent them today and they were empty today, how much could you rent them out for? Over 900. Okay. Well, that would considerably help the problem. Um, Probably 980 max. So if the money was coming in, that'd be okay. Dave might be right. It might be a free and clear property. That's why. Um, I probably there probably is a mortgage on there though. I would think because you know he's asking for all the money, no seller financing. But it's possible that it's completely paid off, and that's why he's okay, or he's stomached the low income rate. The owner has a mortgage. Okay, okay. I think that this property has long-term tenants, and he's probably been a good landlord too. And they've stayed because the rents are ridiculously low, and he can't get those rents up until they leave, and they're not going to leave because it's a good property to live at. He must be making enough money and likes how the tenants are staying. Maybe, Dave, yeah, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe he's bleeding cash and he could afford it. He felt like he could afford it. Some people are high income earners, or they make money somewhere else and they let the property lose money and they're okay with it. Yeah, very nice, well maintained 6 unit property. So this guy's been taking care of this property. He's been a good landlord. Uh, Probably hasn't moved the rent up every year. He could have moved the rent up every year for over the years that he's owned it. And these people are basically in a rent control environment, and they don't want to leave. You can't in Calgary. You can, Nick. You can't do that in Ontario. You can't do that in Ontario. Calgary's the Wild Wild West. That you can do whatever you want. Well, he said that the previous owner had no mortgage, so he did not care about the rent increase. Then he bought it, but somehow it stuck with low increase since those tenants stayed. Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, you can only increase it the year over year. very few provisions that are going to let you raise the rents anywhere near where it's got to go. I think this is a problem, Frank, because the rents, the income just doesn't produce, doesn't produce or justify the property value. And for the market, I mean, sure, the market, might say it's worth this much, but at the end of the day, income determines value. If there's no value, this property would be worth more if it was empty. It'd be worth more. But those tenants are getting very old now, like 60 years. He expects them to leave within the next 5 years. Well, I don't know, Frank. You might want to let them. Cannot hear you at all anymore, Sam. You can't hear me? Yeah, you can hear me now? I can. Well, look at building again in 5 years. Yes, I can hear. Okay, no problem here. Okay, so I hope the voice is back for you. We are looking at the building again in 5 years. We'll look at the building again. Yeah, I agree. Uh, this might be a problem. Um, the risk is too, Frank, is what if they stay longer? For all we know, I mean, they could leave earlier. We don't know, but the challenge is the risk that you're taking on by holding the property. During that period where you're hoping that they leave. That's that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, this one makes me a little bit nervous, Frank. If you came to me as an investor and said, can I, to get involved, that would be my concern. It's a pity because the property has potential. I agree. I agree. But without the income, I mean, you know, oh wow. You know, I no. Can you ask for vacant possession? Well, how is he going to justify telling them to leave? He needs cause. You can't just kick them out. Well, investors wise, my goal is to pay them full down payment within the first year. He needs to sell. Yeah, he says he needs to sell. You could try to buy the tenants out. You could try that. Pay for the tenants to leave. I have the money, just don't want to pay down 20% up front. Want to see how this goes first year first. Well, Frank, has he attempted, or is he open to maybe buying the tenants out or asking the tenants, you know, I don't know, he can pay for them to leave. Can't be coercive, he can't push them out, you know. I wouldn't leave if I was renting a place. I wouldn't leave, but you could offer them money to move. You could say, look, I'm selling the property. Um, I'm going to be doing some stuff in the units, and uh, if you would like, we can make an arrangement. But you'd have to get them all. They'd have to all go, or the majority of them would go. They got to leave on their own. On their own, right? Do they have leases? Do they have leases, Frank? Or are they month to month? I'm gonna bet month to month. I'll bet you they're month to month. I bet you they're month to month. I'll put money down on it. This is this is one of those situations where you have a good person and a good landlord, and um, and the rents are just. You know what, Frank? The guy who sold this property saddled him with this probably the same situation. I would say no after a year. It becomes month to month. Well, whatever the lease is. I mean, it could be a year, 2 year lease, 3 year lease, but it goes year month to month from that. Yeah, I would say month to month. So, Frank, I would be concerned about taking this property on because of the fact that the property itself, you would not go then? I don't. It doesn't make any money. It doesn't make enough money. Sorry, it doesn't make enough money. Anybody have any thoughts on this? Like I mean, unless this guy's willing to give you escrow, or he's unless he's giving like for compensation for the rents, you know, it just there's probably, let me check something, Frank, equals, we said, give me this times 900, let's say, that's 54 equals this minus this, it's $1,000 a month. Huh. Also check on the leases and see how they're set up. Yep, that's good. Make a decision from there. Try to get creative. Can't always force the deal to be good. That's right. I would go for it. I wouldn't go for it. Too difficult to get the rent on marketplace. Yeah, I'd be worried. Let me say this to this. This times 5. So $63,000 in income you'd be giving up if this was rented properly. It's short $63,000 over the next 5 years. If you can't make changes in under a year, it might be worth, if you can. Oh yeah. If you could make modifications in the first 12 months to make it profitable, but I don't see how, that's gonna be tough. But I mean, you can ask questions. You can ask questions about the leases. Ask questions about, what he's willing to do. I mean, you've already asked for a 10% drop. I don't know how this guy's gonna get the price that he wants. That's gonna be tough for someone to give him that price. But someone could. Depends on the leases. Is there a high demand for suites like this? What do you think of Dave? Because the property itself, you can't kick them out, Dave. I noticed some units are very outdated. Kitchen tenants don't complain, but they still don't want to invest in renos to increase the price. Don't want to make more money into it. Don't want to put more money into it yet. So I think this property is a problem that you can't solve necessarily without actually removing the tenants or producing more income. Because your expenses on this property are not bad, actually. Expenses are not bad. This is not bad, but the income is a problem. Let's see. If you can't make it cash flow in under a year, I'd walk away. I agree with Dave. Yep, I agree. Wholesale it to rich investor looking for turnkey building. That's an opportunity. Yeah. You could maybe do that. If you had someone in mind. But this property could be an option. Yeah. This property you said though, Frank, is outdated, right? The problem is a turnkey. The problem is if you put money into this property and those tenants are still there, it's just going to bleed more cash, right? I mean, you're not going to get that money back to do all the updates and stuff. 2% of smart investor would not buy it. Yeah, it's tough, Frank. It's tough. It's tough. The guy would have to come down way too low. He's going to have a problem, I think, selling it unless he gets someone who's, I mean, I don't know, who doesn't care, who's going to pay cash. But even if you pay cash for this, I mean, there's not a lot of money here. For new, it'll be like a 5% return. That's good too. I like that idea from Dave. Just follow up every 6 months. Quality wise, that is fine. Just outdated. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking if you took it, fixed it up, and flipped it or wholesaling it, I mean, you'd have to know there was a spread between retail. My opinion, the rent is 30% from market price. That is way too far for the market price. Follow-up would be good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that the gap is pretty big, and it would be difficult to make this work, or just justifying the price. Um, okay. Any other questions, Frank? Sorry that didn't come out the way you wanted. What about the is not wanting to get rid of these older tenants as well? The what about the what? Sorry, crying mode on the human element. Oh, you mean the tenants themselves, Jane? Is that what you mean? Well, elders, priest people. What do you mean by that, Jane? Do you mean the human element of not wanting to get rid of these tenants? Is that what you mean, Jane? Like we shouldn't want to get rid of these tenants? Yes, considering trying to get rid of the tenants. Yes. Jane, that's not a slight on the tenants themselves. That's that the property, the tenants themselves are in a property that the market rent is higher, right? And if the tenants stay, uh, and the owner of the property has a challenge making money or profiting, it makes it extremely difficult for a tenant to or a landlord to continue to invest in the property as it's losing. Now, is it do we want these people to go? We don't. This has really we're not. These people are people. We don't want to evict these people because we're trying to be just trying to make money. It's just that we're trying to understand how to make this property work. These individuals are blessed and fortunate to have a property, have a property where they have a great landlord, they have a great property, but they're paying under market value. And this is the big argument that actually a lot of people in Alberta, feel like that's being dealt with by just changing if they have to raise the rents, they raise the rents, and the market decides. Definitely don't want to displace people. That's why I talked about maybe paying them. If that's it, but I wouldn't want to kick anybody out. It's just the property itself has a real big problem if the income is not going to be justified by the value. This is actually happens in a lot of places where there's rent control and just good tenants. Sorry, good landlords. They don't raise the rent every year that they can. They're probably on fixed incomes. Yeah, they absolutely could change. They absolutely could be. Yeah, absolutely. Um, we're no intention or desire to displace people or move people away. At the same time, as an investor, we want to make sure that it's sustainable and profitable for us to allow us to continue to provide safe, clean housing for people. This individual is in a situation where he's selling a property, and he's going to have a problem getting the money for the property that he wants because the income is really what determines the value of that property. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you're right. I honestly don't know, Jane. Again, not wanting to displace or put people in a bad position. At the same time, the investor has to make sure that they're in a place where they can continue to uh, to take care of the property. Yep, don't want to subsidize this property. Don't want to evict either. Yeah. That's about it. Frank, I would say, keep in touch with the guy. Tell him that when you run your numbers, it's too hard with the income on the property. But you'll check in with them from time to time. Some changes, let them know. But the price would have to be considerably lower to make it work. Just stay in touch with them, and you can ask the other questions about the leases and things. But I mean, if that's the income numbers, I mean, you can't just move those people out. Good. Any other questions by anybody? No worries. Let me see. Let me see. 10 minutes. Let's look at this duplex. Can you email it to my Gmail account? Or my thing with me? Hold on. Let's take a quick look if I can. Let's take see account should work. It should be working, but I just easier when I'm on here to ship it to the Gmail account. Okay. So let me see. May 2nd, I sent it to the Gmail account. Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. Yeah, I think I got it. Hold on 1 second. Friend, let me see if I can get it up. Okay. Is it 443, Dave? Is the price 443? Just want to check. I got the right one. Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me bring it up, folks. Right. Okay. All right. Um, I'm just gonna take some information out. Alright. Just getting something out. Spring. All right. Okay. 2,500. That's good rent for that. 1,200 a unit. Gross revenues 30. Expenses. Those expenses prices been lowered to 430. Can I ask the expenses have been verified? These The expenses have been verified? Dave, they're verified. It's 24,000. Is that right? Close? Okay. All right. 80, 3.9. You're going to put 20% down. Monthly cash flow per unit. Okay. So the property, 243. The property is, I mean, income is good. The expenses, 42. 2K a unit before financing. 1561, 2.9. You know, Dave, the only thing I might be able to get the rents a bit higher too. The only thing, I mean, Dave, this is a good property. I mean, you're finding great properties, no question. The only thing, Dave, that you know, points that I kind of want to look at is, you know, the amount of money you're putting in, which is not a problem that you're putting in 20%. The problem is, so you know that I wish you were getting a little bit more on that. And you know, the other thing is that the vacancy maintenance of property management on these properties, you have it at 5%. What are you calling? What's the first problem? Sorry, you were cutting out again. Sorry about that. The return on investment is 7.1. Everybody sees that, right? 7.1 here. Does everybody see that? 7.1? Okay. So the 7.1 for vacancy, it's brand new building with full warranty. I'll manage it. Okay. I mean, you know what I'm gonna say, Dave. I mean, you're finding great properties. You're okay with the management part of it. You've been doing that for a while, and you feel like the time doing that is good for you. I mean, if that's what you feel it works for you, 5% vacancy. I know. I like to manage. Okay, that's all right, Dave. I mean, if you like doing it, folks, if you like doing that, that's okay. If that's something that you know you get excited about and energized about, I mean, I don't want. I want you to do what you want to do, right? It's it's just making sure that you're building something that you can duplicate, and it's not going to start taking away from the whole point of. For a lot of us, it was so we could get more time. So if you can manage that time and you feel like that's something you can do, and you're setting up, I would even say, Dave, if you haven't already, it's time maybe to set up a property management company to start, getting the tax benefits of that, as you build up these properties. Yeah. So I think that the property's fine. The income is great. 252. The 7.1, I wish was higher. That would make me happier with that. Otherwise, the property's good. I mean, you're getting, yeah, 10, yeah, for sure. You're getting, great rents relative to the units. I mean, the units, 2,500. It's. I'm not so worried about asking the purchase price that we're dealing with. Oops. Yeah, that didn't. Okay. So is the utilizing the capital the best you can. I don't really care about purchase price to tell you the truth, only relative to what ends up here, down here, the income part, right? The cash on cash and the return. You're making $500 a month on this property. That's excellent for cash flow. That's excellent cash flow wise. I was just saying that the cash flow is great for this property. It's $500 a month. So just want to see that the cash on cash return was a little bit higher. That's all. I need to allow about 8 to 10K for some new things. Okay. All right. So is that in addition to the 430, right? Landscaping, appliances, and blinds. Keith, 5% vacancy only equals 1 month rent if it's empty. So basically, yeah, the 1 month gives you a little bit more because it's 1,200, but it's 1 month. You know that vacancy, the 5% is what we want. I mean, you have leases and agreements and stuff like that. 5% is what we need standard. If it's higher though, Keith, you'd use a higher number. I just would never go lower than 5%. Some places have less than 2% or 1%, but I would definitely never go below 5 as a standard. So I mean, the property's good. The property's, there's nothing wrong with this property. You know, just just have fun. Oh, just check something. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Is the tenant? Is there tenants in it now? Is there tenants in it now, Dave? Yeah. I'd be curious if I could allow an investor. 30-year. Why is that not $371? 1890. 67. Let's see. But I'd probably do split the cash flow. Would be better because there's enough money in it. That would be better. Total is 37. Should we be worried about vacancies then? Should you be worried about vacancies? Being new, I'm looking for a long-term hold. Yeah, I mean the property's good. You might bring in an investor in and just split the cash flow, and have this at 0, right? So this would be 0 and this would be 0. And what you could do is you could split the cash flow, and each one of you would get 250, and then the return would be higher. You could do that. To your question, Tammy and Troy, should we be worried about vacancies then? Yeah, for sure you do. You need to know the vacancies in an area. I just, as a rule, would never go less than 5%. Even if it was 2% in the area, it's still mark it up as 5. If it's higher, you got to account for the current vacancy in the market. It doesn't mean you can't take a property that has a higher vacancy than 5 or 10%. You just got to make sure you got to put it in your numbers. Does that make sense, Tammy? Yeah, just making sure you don't fool yourself into thinking you have something that you don't. So Dave, I would maybe bring a partner in to put up 10% with you and split the cash flow. You know, I would consider that as an option to increase the return to you, because you're only putting up 10% instead of the 20. That's how I might consider bringing in a partner in. You could do that. It's a good property. I mean, numbers wise, it works. Yeah, 50-50 split. 50-50 split. Because look, you're basically splitting, you're each getting 250, right? But you gotta remember, you're only putting up half the money. That would be better. The cash on cash return would be 4,220. You probably could, Dave. Let me see. You probably could. For this actually, because it's your property and you got it. I would probably get the investor to put up the 20% and split the cash flow, 250 each. Sir, if you got the property and you put the deal together, it's not insane for you to say, put up the 20%, I'll split the cash flow and split the capital gains. I'll take care of the property. You see what I'm saying, Dave? So you take care of the property, we split the cash flow, and we split the capital gains at the end. But I need you to put the 20% down. That's what I would do. That would be fair. That would be fair. Because you're taking care of the property, right? And you're not expensing that expense. So then putting up 20% and making 250 on it, I mean they're making around what you were making. They're making at the same thing, 7%. But they're getting the benefit of you taking care of the property and the capital gains at the end of the, over time. You know what I'm saying? So I would consider, that as an opportunity if I was an investor. So I would take that approach. I'd probably take that approach. Are you interested, Dave, in having someone participate in this property with you? The property per door, yeah, here, look down here. It's 252 per unit. You see that, Tammy and Troy? 252 per unit. So yeah, so you're splitting that, right? So each of you are getting 250. Each of you would be getting 250 because that's per unit, right? There's 2 units. Maybe I do have some local contacts here as well. Yeah, for sure. I have a big square blocking the screen. Oh, I'm sorry. That's this right here. That's that. That's where the box is. I'm not working with 2 screens tonight. So Dave, if you want, if you're interested, um, you can share this opportunity, or if you're open to it, to others as well. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap up our meeting if we have no more questions, and then before anybody please put any contact information yet. But when after I'm done, anybody who's interested, Dave, if you want me to do that, people can put out the number. This I don't know what this is. This is an old sheet. Where's this? This is nothing. This is data. There's nothing there. So this is nothing. This is static. So okay, Frank. That was just static information. It was nothing. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Stop sharing there. Okay, before I wrap up, please nobody put out any information. But is there any questions before we wrap up? We good? If you're good, type in yes or Y. Good. And then what we're gonna do is stay on. I'm gonna stop the recording, close the meeting out. Okay, we'll see you all next Tuesday, and I'm gonna let Dave, or well, we'll figure it out in a second. But everybody have a great week. If you need